Yeah, that makes sense. You would make more sense to me if that was the case. I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. I feel like I know this is my truth, but I also feel like, what if it's not? And that it's out of laziness. Those of you who realize that you're surprised by this are gonna realize that you don't know me very well, actually. I just wish I knew why nobody noticed. Hello my friends and fishes, Courtney Mermaid here, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be looking at my autism assessment journey. My assessment took place over the span of 2 months, with sort of like 1 or 2 appointments per week, and then there was a gap of time where there were no appointments because, you know, they're compiling everything before they give you kind of the result. So I'm gonna warn you now, this video is very much the real experience. I left very little out. I'm not gonna lie when I tell you there was a lot of crying that took place in this video, especially towards the end. If you're in the mood for a little bit of an emotional roller coaster and you would like some insight into what the experience was like, how it went, my thoughts, and all of these things, then let's dive in. So today is the intake for my autism assessment. A number of you are gonna be like, autistic? Oh, pfft. No, you're not. And it's called editing. I've been actually dropping hints about this for the last 7 months. I will bring you along for the whole thing. Today is May 17th. I'll have between 1 and 2 appointments every week from now until mid-June. So June 23rd is going to be like D-Day. That'll be the day that they tell me whether or not that they think I'm autistic or not. How did we get here? That's a good question. I'm so glad you didn't ask. I was 25, I was minding my business, and YouTube recommended a video for me by a creator who doesn't make content anymore that I'm aware, or at least not on YouTube. I had done some research, I had mentioned it in a few different ways to my family doctor at the time, and everybody just kind of dismissed it as not a thing. Oh, it's just a sensory disorder. It's just a sensory disorder. Yeah, oh, it's just anxiety, it's just depression. Is it though? So 10 years, right? And at the time, when I was 25, I was looking into places to go and get assessed. But at the time, nobody was doing adult assessments, and especially not adult assessments for women. That wasn't a thing. So I let it go. I was like, whatever, I know my truth. Something is amiss. If it's autism, if it's not, I don't know because I'm not a doctor. But in my gut, I had a feeling that something was definitely askew, and I had started to notice it more and more. So fast forward, things got really bad for me when I quit my animation industry job. I used to be in the animation industry as an artist. When I left and I started working for myself full time, and then my life fell apart, which was a whole other thing, but I noticed even more things about myself that were starting to bubble to the surface. And then the pandemic hit. And then TikTok started showing me autistic creators within my first hour. And I'm starting to notice like weird things. I'm like, I do that. Don't even. Keep your opinions and shit to yourself. I'm sitting there and I'm like, boy, this is starting to sound weird. And now I'm doing more research and more research. And I found out there were tests that you could take, like legitimate tests that you can take, but they will help give you an idea as to whether or not autism is maybe something you should be assessed for. So, and the tests include, okay, so there's the ASPE quiz. The RADs are CAT-Q, Autism Spectrum Quotient? I don't know how to say this shit. And then, like 60 pages of my elementary school report cards. And then I also found some photos of myself as a kid that I feel like shed some light on a few things. It's a lot, okay? It's a lot of stuff. I didn't just wake up one morning and say, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I was autistic? The first quiz that I did was the ASPE quiz. My neurodiverse score was 146 out of 200, and my neurotypical score was 67 out of 200. So that's kind of what it looks like. Okay. So I printed it off and I kind of sat on it and I was like, what do I do with this? What do I do with this information? So with the help of a really good friend, I don't know if he's comfortable with me saying his name on here, so we're just gonna keep him anonymous, him and his wife. You know who you are if you happen to be watching this, and how much I appreciate, like, wow, why do I feel like I'm gonna cry? and how much I appreciate the response that you had. When I was telling you, and I popped out some earplugs and I was telling them a little bit about like what I was thinking and what was going on, and he said, yeah, that makes sense. You would make more sense to me if that was the case. And I just thought, that just stuck with me in my mind when he said that. And I thought, like, we went to school together as well. The particular year of school wasn't a good one for me. It's really funny because I don't think people grasp what it's like when you know something about yourself is uneven. Is what it feels like for me personally. This is not everybody's experience. I'm sure everyone's got a different experience. But something feels uneven. It feels like I'm standing and I'm lopsided. And having it shrugged off, like having every experience that I have shrugged off, is not a big deal. So when I ended up on TikTok and found out that there were other people like me, people who do repetitive things and people who speak a certain way, people who have the same struggles that I do to make eye contact, clothing. Like, have you ever noticed that I'm always wearing this? Like, has this ever occurred to anybody? Like, in the morning, this is the only thing I can wear first thing in the morning. I'm not even wearing pants right now, just if that makes you feel any better. And going through my report cards, I think, was the biggest eye-opener. She needs to learn to make eye contact. She needs to learn to play nicely with the other children. She's too loud. She's too quiet. She fidgets too much. She needs to try harder. And then looking at my grades and thinking to myself, how did nobody ever figure this out? So here we are at the start of all of this. I have, my appointment is at 2:30 and I wanted to bring you guys along for the ride. Today's the intake. I guess we just go over the, hey Courtney, why do you think you're autistic? And I get to present all of this information. And yeah, I did make a PDF document, okay, for them with all of my scores and all of my report cards and all of my everything. Hopefully it's not as scary as I'm anticipating it. So the intake is basically like your opportunity to tell your side of the story and to go through all of this stuff basically in like a broad kind of a sense. So just like touching on a few different points. And she said she thinks that just given what I've said so far that we're at least heading in the right direction, but she'd also like to screen me for ADHD. If this is something that you're going through, it's the kind of thing where having notes in advance and like having your school records, having your work history, and something that I did specifically on mine was that I made a note of problems that I had in specific areas, and I had the whole thing like compiled in a PDF, and I ended up scanning in all of my report cards and any notes that I thought were useful. I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. I feel like I know this is my truth, but I also feel like, what if it's not? Like, what if I'm just a shitty person, or just lazy, or just stupid, or just whatever? Tomorrow is going to be like day one. I don't know why I'm having just such a moment of anxiety about the whole thing. And I think it has to do with the fact that I just haven't been believed. Anytime that I've gone to ask for help with this, or with my anxiety, or with, you know, sensory related issues, it's never come up. It's never been like, oh yes, Courtney, that sounds like something. Like, I've always been told that I'm too sensitive and, you know, it's all in your head. It's all in your head. Can't you just be okay? Why do you have to act like this? Like, you're making such a big deal. You're making a mountain out of a molehill kind of a thing. You know, I don't think anybody like really wants to go out of their way to have something be wrong with them. And you look at other people and you don't see people having the struggles that you're having, and you don't really know why. Life is so much harder for you. This is like the most vulnerable I think I've ever been on my YouTube channel, the most out there. And I think that the important thing is to note that I am doing this because past Courtney needed somebody to do this. Past Courtney needed somebody to talk about their experience. I needed somebody to actually be there with me going through this. And when I think back at different instances in my life where something happened, or somebody said something, somebody treated me a specific way, or I got in trouble for something, and I think about moments where I didn't understand why, that might not make sense to you. And if you are not on this kind of an experience right now, hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight. Maybe you've got a child or a friend or a spouse or whatever. Maybe this gives you a little bit of insight. I think the hardest part of all of this is being on social media. You'll see people reacting to music and stuff and they'll be like, oh yes, how if you're neurodiverse, react to this. And you know, when I see people react to things and I catch myself now and I'm like, well, how would I really me, not like me who tries to look like she has her shit together for all of you people on here on social media, but like the version of myself that I never show, the version of myself that I have honed into hiding, okay? I feel like I've really let myself down and I just wanted to sit down here because I just was sitting out in the living room and I just wanted to cry because I just feel like, why haven't I found somebody out there who's like me? And I hope that I can be that somebody for somebody else. But I tried to find a space before seeking an official diagnosis. I tried to find a space, but I don't even fit in here. And I know I still have such a long way to go with all of this, and I guess that's why I wanted to make a video documenting the whole thing. I just wish I knew why nobody noticed. What a thing, you know? What a thing. Doing it for little me. So the interview goes kind of like this, like, it's a very chill kind of a thing. I don't really know if it's going to be like that for everybody, but for me it was very much like she asked me a question, kind of walked me through it. If I needed clarification, I could ask, and then I just answered the questions. And if I didn't know something or I didn't have an answer, then I said, you know, no, I don't have an answer. And then if I said yes to something, but I wanted to add to it, I just did. Like I just did. If it was like, yes, I can do this, and it's because I can do, like, I set myself up for it. It was just a lot of like social questions, a lot of, did you understand this growing up? Did you not understand this growing up? Like really just weird. Like what I said to her at the end was just that, like, how do you know? Like it feels like she knows me better than than she does. Do you know what I mean? Because like she's asking me questions and they're like all relating to me somehow, kind of. Like there were a few that didn't, which is fine. You just acknowledge that for what it is, and I guess we'll figure out like where I land with all of this, which makes me nervous. So anyways, I have just sort of shut things down for now. I'm gonna take a break because that was really very intense and I was really trying hard to just like give all of the information as best as I could, and now I'm feeling a little bit stressed and anxious just because they don't really tell you. Like she said that, like, yeah, I feel like if I knew your story I would have suggested an autism assessment. I guess we're just gonna have to wait this one out and see. I have no idea how I'm gonna make it a week. So my appointment this week is on Thursday. I have finished all of the questionnaires and all of the things that they wanted me to fill out, emailed everything back, and other consent forms and a few other things. I know there's gonna be like people out there who've known me for a really long time who are not surprised by this at all, and then there's gonna be people who are surprised by this. And I think those of you who realize that you're surprised by this are gonna realize that you don't know me very well, actually, and that the person that you like isn't the person that I am per se. A situation where you might like the mask better than you might actually like what I'm like, and I don't honestly really know what I'm like anymore. I'm a chronic people pleaser. I never put myself first. And even though it doesn't appear that way outwardly, I appear quite selfish. I'm trying so hard and it never comes across that way, which makes it worse. I wonder how many people are actually gonna stick around after this. That second half of the interview was mostly like some social stuff, friendships, special interests. So I got to talk her ear off about mermaids, which was awesome. And my monofin collection and dinosaurs came up because dinosaurs are awesome. So 2 weeks from today is my in-person interview part. I'll take the rest of the day to just chill, and I'm gonna eat my oatmeal before it gets cold. I've had people say some terrible things to me, and it may not have seemed like a bad thing in the moment when they said it and they thought maybe they were trying to do me a favor by letting me know something or say something. It's like when the one thing that you fear above all else is being perceived as like inwardly focused and selfish because it makes you a bad person, and then somebody tells you that like their friends are sick of you and sick of like the world revolving around you and things. And when you think back, and it's the one thing you're trying not to do, like I make a fuss because I don't want it. I don't want it. If like I'm overwhelmed, I just want to get out of the situation. I am not trying to be dramatic. I am not trying to be the center of fucking attention. Like I can't with people anymore. I just can't. I just can't. And it sticks with you and it hurts. It hurts more than so many things. And so like I've been told all of this throughout my life, right? And hopefully I keep it together because we have to leave in exactly 15 minutes. So that's exciting. Somebody once said to me, and I'm not going to say who it was, but somebody once asked me if I was trying to look like the R word. I was rocking in my chair in a moment of stress. First of all, it was also a rocking chair. So if you know, you know. Are you trying to look R word? Never did it again after that. Not in public anyways, not in front of people. I never did it again. I think about that kind of moment and what that meant for young Courtney to hear somebody say that to them and think that like, this is something that I was doing to manage myself. And then these same people years later get frustrated when I'm not able to manage myself, when I'm not able to regulate and not explode. You just want me to make you comfortable. That's what it comes down to. That's what this whole expedition comes down to, is just, it's gonna be a long ass video, but this whole thing just comes down to you like me better when I pass or I just look okay. That makes you comfortable. That doesn't make me comfortable. That makes you comfortable. I have been talking for way too long now. It's time to go. Literally time to go. So I'm gonna go. Wish me luck. Just sitting down to do this while it's still like fresh in my brain. So basically the in-person stuff was like, sit down, ask some questions. She did an ADHD screening as well. Just more of the same kind of questions that were already asked. And then there were like, it was very childish, some of the stuff. Like it was really weird because they have like little games and stuff and you have to tell a story from a book and then you're given like 5 like items that you have to tell a story with, but these items make no sense like whatsoever. I had to tell a story with a car, like a circle, like a pog, if you know what pogs are. A tiny candelabra like this big, a blue block, and a feather. I fancy myself a sort of creative person, but that was hard. It was weird because one of the tests, I definitely remember doing this before. Like I remember doing this as a child at some point. I was given like shapes to like fit into like a bigger shape. Overall it was good. It was 2 hours and it felt like 2 hours and some of the questions were like emotionally draining. I cried a lot. What I'm trying to like wrap my head around and I'm trying to understand is that they collect all of the information first and then, because now I have to wait 2 weeks. I have to wait 2 weeks to find out what the status is going to be, like what the outcome of this actually is. I gotta wait 2 fucking weeks. She did say, she's like, it is very obvious that you've lived a very different, like you've had a very different life experience and that it has been hard for you. And it was nice for somebody to acknowledge that. But I've been very much made to feel over the years of my life that it is a me problem and that it's out of laziness or it's out of selfishness that I am like this, and that it's not because I am genuinely struggling to exist in a world that truly doesn't meet my needs. Anyways, I'm getting tired and I'm starting to space a little bit, so I am gonna go. Well, this is it. Today's the day. I've been sick for like days about this. This has been horrible. This was a horrible experience. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Like my heart rate's 101 right now. I'm not even doing anything. I don't know. Has it gone down? No, it's 101. Okay? So I'm not bullshitting you. I'm never gonna make it to the end of this, am I? Because if it is, I have to deal with that, and if it isn't, I have to deal with that, and I don't really know how I'm gonna be okay. Okay. Let's do this.
Well, I know you've been waiting weeks now. You okay to let me say it? Okay. I do believe it's autism. I believe you are autistic. Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
boy.
Yeah. Take your time. Let's talk about it when you're ready, okay? I knew it would be a relief for you, because I know you were worried. If it's not, then what is it? Yeah. Take your time.
It's okay, babes. It's okay.
And I'm hoping that we can help make your life make a different type of sense now.
All right, and that was how it went. And now the end clip that you saw there, I kind of feel like I want to asterisk because I sometimes have a really hard time when I see people filming things like their meltdowns and their freakouts and their things. Be very aware that everything that I have here was edited in some way, obviously. That was my honest response to finding out that I am in fact autistic. I had set the camera up prior to so that I wouldn't have to fussle fart with it once the call started, and I just kind of let it run out of time on its own. I actually forgot that I was filming, which was really interesting. I don't remember any of what you guys saw there. That my response, it's like my brain just shut off the moment that she told me that I believe you're autistic. Gone. I don't remember. Like, going back and watching the footage was eerie because I completely was gone. Like, I was gone until Alfie comes up to me and licks me on my face. I remember holding his little face and giving him like a little kiss, and then I kind of remember coming back to reality. But we must have been in that moment for a good couple of minutes. I don't remember Eric talking to me. I don't remember him touching me. I was completely gone. A part of me was devastated, and a part of me felt such immense relief to have finally been believed by somebody after having gone through what you saw me go through. The darkest moments were just me on the couch for days on end, just crying. And it's hard to know that there's gonna be people who see this, who judge me for it, who think that I take this too seriously, or I'm making too big of a deal of all of this, or that I'm treating this as though this has impacted every aspect of my life, and they don't feel like that's fair, because yes, my life has had many good points as well. I don't think even I really comprehend yet, because it hasn't even been a week since that last clip, and it hasn't really 100% struck me yet just how many areas of my life that this has impacted. So as of recording this now, I haven't actually received my kind of 14-page, apparently it's going to be quite long, sort of essay of all of the things, but she did go over all of it, kind of summary points with me during that call, and I am impacted in every area of my life. So I actually met the criteria, like every piece of criteria, which I wasn't really expecting. And there were interesting things that she said to me that I didn't even notice, or I didn't even think about. I have always fancied myself to be, you know, good at kind of putting on the game face and just kind of going and doing the thing. And over the last 7-ish, 8 months, I've been working it's probably like 9 months now, I've been working really hard actually to unmask and just kind of let myself be. And so I thought by the time I'd gotten to the in-person interview that, you know, I kind of like loosened up. It's like, okay, but I could still feel myself kind of holding back and kind of, because I don't even know, right? Like, I don't even really know yet what unmasking even looks like for me. But she said to me, she's like, yeah, there were things that you did that during the in-person interview, there were things that you did that were very much like, aha. And for me, it's hard because I don't recognize what those things were, and now I'm aware of it. I'm like, oh, you know, what were these things that I did? Maybe I shouldn't do them, and that's still like instinctually part of my whole experience. I talked about it before, kind of the point to making this whole video, and it was because this is my outlet. This is where I get to be myself. Not everybody's gonna understand why I felt the need to share this publicly. And personally, I don't really care. If that's how you feel, you can keep that to yourself. You don't need to express that to me. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for the little girl in grade 6 who hid under her desk until the teacher left the room so that she could eat her lunch alone in quiet, okay? Who used to get teased mercilessly and harassed and bullied or told to hurry up when she was struggling. And, you know, this is not to negate anybody else's experience. This is for once just about me. And hopefully, in it being about me, somebody out there can relate to this and see that, you know what, maybe it's worth pursuing. So I guess that brings me to my next point. Was this worth it? Yes, this was worth it. This was worth it. I cannot tell you, and I have to keep it together even though I can feel myself starting to well up because I have so much more to film today. I can tell you that the immense relief, the overwhelming relief that I felt in knowing that all of these little moments in my life where it just didn't quite make sense, and sometimes fundamentally didn't make sense, that there was a reason, that there was a reason for it. There was a reason for people being mean to me, or there was a reason. It wasn't just because I was a selfish, lazy girl. Unfortunately, it also makes a lot of the things that happened to me in my childhood a little bit more upsetting, and in some cases extremely offensive. Like the one instance I told you guys about somebody asking me if I was trying to look like the R word, if I was trying to look when I was rocking in my chair. You know, the damage cannot be undone. You know, I do forgive. I do definitely forgive the instances in my life where people treated me badly as a direct result of my being autistic, but I will never forget, and I will not tolerate it any longer. And you can all pretty much just assume henceforth that if I see something that upsets me, as you've seen with my 2 previous videos, which will actually be 3 at this point, I think I still have 1 more to post before I post this one anyways. I don't care anymore if you like me or you don't like me. Go ahead and unsubscribe. Go ahead. If you don't like me, you don't like my opinions, peace out. I'm gonna say all the resources and everything that I used to get to this point are gonna be linked in the description box down below, short of the actual doctor information because it's a little bit close to home, if you know what I mean, so I don't really want to share that specific information. But I will tell you what I searched, and I will include all of the links to all of those tests that I mentioned. And if you have any questions at all, please leave me a comment. I will do the best that I can to respond to everybody as I can. And I just hope that if you are somebody who is on this journey, that my video helped you in some way. You are worth it. Finding this out, I thought I was gonna float away. I thought I was gonna float away because I never understood why, and now I do. Anyways, that is it for today's video, my fishes. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the pod and the bell notification as well so you never miss an upload. I usually do a lot of mermaidy content on this channel, but you can expect to see some more mental health related content popping up periodically. If you would like more videos talking about my experience or about autism in general, please let me know because I do actually have lots to share, and now that I feel like I've been validated in my whole experience, I would like to potentially discuss it with you all more. So that said, I love you all. I want to thank you for coming along on this journey with me, and I look forward to catching you all again in my next video. Happy swimming. Bye. Big thank you to the Patreon Pod for helping sponsor today's episode. The Patreon Pod is your mermaid home away from home with a private Discord community chat, weekly live streams with replays where you can actually watch me make mermaid tales live, as well as get exclusive looks at upcoming projects I'm working on and more. Please check out the link in the description box down below.